Hi, once again, NECC. We've got another match for you guys tonight. It's starting a little bit late here due to the other one running nice and long. It was pretty exciting, and I'm returning. I'm Treasure, and I'm joined by the inscrutable Light Rose for this match. How's it going, Light Rose?
I have been waiting patiently. And I scheduled an hour later, and I've just had to sit patiently. And Treasure even having a grand old time casting a very close best of three, and I'm over here just playing Cookie Clicker. But
Cookie clicker moment.
yeah, we are now time. We're getting ready to start. We have Concordia, Wisconsin versus Western Colorado University. Now you do have Concordia. They are 2-1, and Western Colorado are 3-0, and they're actually coming off of a bye. So they've had time to take a little bit of a break and also just strategize. Meanwhile, they're still going off a 3-0, and there's a lot that both these teams can get. I think we mentioned last week that we're starting to kind of chug our way forward to the playoffs. And Concordia, Wisconsin, they want to make sure that they can beat a team that is undefeated. And obviously, Western Colorado wants to stay on top here.
Absolutely. We really are at that halfway mark. It's a pretty defining moment here. We have the map bands ready, and since it's running a little behind, we'll try and scoot along and get ourselves into that match so we can start seeing that action. So our maps here, we've got Clubhouse, Oregon, and Chalet as that decider map if we get there to the map 3.
And Chalet, I think that'd be a pretty exciting map, but we got to go through a couple very typical maps going forward. Clubhouse in Oregon, I can't say I am pretty excited for the map pool to get opened up a little more. Usually we might see Skyscraper, Border, and all these other ones that should allow for a much, I think, diverse map pool more than what we're exactly seeing with Clubhouse in Oregon.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see some of that come into that competitive play and really see the borders get pushed with those. But we do have some gameplay here in just a moment, ready to get right into it with operator bands.
Yeah, here we go, and we're gonna zoom on into CUW versus WCU.
That won't be
Not,
confusing.
yeah, it's not gonna be confusing at all. And now, starting off, it's gonna be WCU on the defense and CUW on the. I feel like we can't say CUW WCU. That's gonna be just way too complicated. Concordia is gonna be on the attacking side, and WCU is going to be on that defensive side. Thatcher going off the board first, very normal, very standard, but usually it's where the second attacker band can kind of come into play. It's going to be a Maverick, so we're going to have to see a lot more dedication to going underneath in lounge and shooting up the CCTV wall.
Oh, there's the threats.
Oh, already starting it out. Look, I love a good IP joke as long as it's not real.
It really is someone's IP out there. Maybe
I'm
I don't
sure
know how IPs work. I don't know if every
the
number is going
person
to be linked
hanging
to
around in
something.
Portugal is having a bad time tonight.
It's like, well, why am I getting DDoS out of nowhere? All right, we got the Mira and the
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. Neither of
Yeah,
those. Oh, I guess the
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird is a little more atypical, but the Mira very normal, right?
Yeah, Thunderbird. I think usually she's getting a little bit of a nerf in the next season. She's not going to overheal you if you are on 100 HP, so that we might see a little bit of decrease in playing her because she does allow you to be a little bit more armor going into these fights because yeah, you still have the one shot headshot, but not everybody can hit your shots. So it's going to give you a little bit of that buffer. CCTV is going to be the first area, and we're so close to Thorn finally being played. We've reached the long quarantine period being over, and I'm excited to see her finally going forward. Hopefully in the next week when the first season starts. But it's going to be a Kaid actually going to be swapped onto that.
Yeah, there we go. That's going to take away any element of surprise that they may have had with the sixth pick, but it's not going to be a huge thing. I mean, most of that lineup is really going to speak for itself anyways. They're bringing the Kaid. They've got Jaeger to deal with. The grenades, probably going to be putting most of them in Rafter. That's just going to be usually pretty necessary. They are eschewing the opportunity for the Wamai, though.
Yeah, the Wamai, it's not going to be there, so you might have a little bit trouble on kind of varying around. You're going to have these ADSs set up with recycle first. Putting one by the stairs, you're going to have possibly two on rafters depending on who's going to play over there. So once you're going to have possibly somebody on Concordia take those out, it's going to be a little difficult to defend against these grenades, and we are going to see four actually in the hands of Concordia. So we'll see if those have any major impact on this type of match, because it's usually one way or the other.
On the defense, once again, there's a lot of denial here. Maestro, Smoke, and a C4 in the hands of Boo, potentially coming in below. So really watch for that on B-Bomb for a default plan if we end up in that situation. The first step here for the attackers at Concordia is going to be figuring out what's on the CCTV wall, starting to open that up while their teammates maybe find some leverage out on the western side of the map, looking at the windows and just shoving people off of CCTV as a whole.
There we go. And it looked like the Kaid Claw had been dealt with, but for the time being, it is going to be charged. So it's going to delay the attack just a little bit. And right now we do have the window open, so they want to do a sort of pinch scenario, but they don't have control of rafters. They don't have control of red, and they can't commit to that, because essentially once they set up the pinch, they hop in through the window. They are actually the ones getting pinched in the end. So I think they're actually having to abandon trying to get the CCTV wall open, instead go towards the construction side. But it's going to be Boo over there who's going to be the first line of defense. We're going to see a couple of shots fired, but it's not going to find anything, and dangerously painting the outline of Sully.
Wow, that was the closest fight without landing a single bullet I've seen for a while. They're so close to each other, but the pinch is starting to come out. Sully's going to actually be the one taking Boo out. So now the defense is going to have to shift themselves around. The wall on CCTV is going to be a concern, but Augie still is watching it and finds a nice pick on Claude, starting to whittle down the defense, especially as Cam Lewis goes down again to Augie off of that window. CCTV now looking very accessible, especially as the hard breach starts to go off, and it's going to make it very easy to plant, if not just two more kills off.
It's just the two members left. There's three smoke canisters and actually running the FMG9, but Livid just has to be so careful. They can make a difference, but it's actually going to be recycle first. They're not going to be able to finish down Poison, as it's only Livid left, and with that Finker revive, they're going to get right back up. But still, recycle first, having to be over in logistics, and Livid taking down one. They're going to have to take down three more. The Z-Ping is coming out, so they know the general direction, and that is going to be rafters. There's two smoke canisters. We're going to see shots fire. Going to not be enough, as it's Concordia taking their first round, and what seemed like a very hotly contested first round.
Yeah, Augie really making big impact there at 3K, playing almost exclusively on the windows there on CC and construction, with great lateral pressure from the team, even without getting CCTV wall open. Concordia was really quick to make that adjustment, switch off their angle of attack, and regroup with their teammate who was actually dropping through Logi.
I think it started out really well for the defensive side. If you're essentially able to force the attack to go to their secondary attack strategy, you've already made huge progress. But the fact that you lost the opening engagement and the second one as well before the attack had even stepped foot into the site, I think you throw away your chances really hard if you go down to a 5v3 before the attack's execution, or I guess secondary execution, has even begun. So if we could see something like what just happened, but more members of WCU Western Colorado are able to stay alive, then they could really get that defensive round.
This time they're going for a slightly changed lineup. They're just getting that Valkyrie in there, getting some more intelligence. That way they can find the attackers if they have to make a second push a little bit earlier and respond in kind. Still an interesting pick from before. Claude with barbed wire to slow down an attack, and Garage makes a lot of sense here. But the really fascinating thing is having a Maestro up in rafters in the first place.
I mean, it's not that bad of an idea. The only problem is Maestro can look at his cameras. You're not going to have somebody looking at the cameras able to really pivot it. And Claude does have the 80 bullets in that huge magazine. but like you mentioned, he's a little bit of a thicker target. He's the only one who's able to move his camera, so they have to be very, very careful because Maestro is a very, very important operator. He just is able to do so much with that spaghetti machine gun.
The thick man with his spaghetti machine gun right there. Boo once again roaming out to the north side, trying to shut down that split push that we are seeing once again. But this time, it's going to be a little bit less of a. Oh no, I was thinking that the wall was coming undone. I must have been hearing something else. But it is going to be something that is going to be pushing off just the same. 3 members are right there on cash, and with the Renegates on the wall, this is also going to be a little bit more of a deterrent. But it's not going to take too long before they open it up, and at most it's just going to be burning off some of those smoke grenades that Poison Luck has.
On the attack is going to have to start sometime soon. And if they're not going to be able to, possibly somebody on the defensive side could pop open that Surya gate once again. And so now you're going to have to commit even more utility. Sully taking a lot of damage, eventually going down to Boo. I think it's the second time that those two have fought inside of bedroom. As Claude takes enough damage to really put them down to a significant amount of HP, but it's just not going to be enough. Is right now WCU still has the advantage. They just cannot throw it away like they kind of did last round. They see Claude, but right now they just don't have the utility or the resources to really take him out.
Claude has become a high value target. If the attackers are able to get in through garage, it'll be an easy plant to put down. They might need to fake it because of the intel and denial that's been brought. But, I guess there's less denial here without the smoke. That's what the Valkyrie's replacing. So they might be able to actually get that down pretty easily. They just have to watch for C4. Sly finds a kill through the window. He's going to take out Cam Lewis, and that's the first pick for them with Claude still hanging on to life even with 35 seconds left on the clock. Smoke grenade going down. That's going to be indicative of a plant attempt at the very least. So Claude is going to know that he needs to be primed and ready. Reloading is not the greatest thing to be doing right now with the plant going down right in front of you. Standing up is going to force him into hip fire, and he just can't get anything out of it. The C4 doesn't find its mark as Poison takes down Claude. Is a 4v3, and Boo is out of position now.
Ooh, and Recycle First is going to even that one up. But you said Boo is out of position. The drone is there, and they're going to have to stop to take it out. Right now, Concordia has the advantage. They have somebody outside in the window. They have somebody outside the wall. It's going to be WCU who's going to have to go forward, as Augie still has so many bullets that they just can fire, lay, essentially for the rest of this round. Who's going to have to use the C4 just to break open the wooden planks. And now as we reach about 6 seconds left, it is going to be WCU who's able to get this this attacking round again. So that's 2 in a row on this CCTV side.
Concordia is so patient. They're setting up the angles really cleanly, only taking the fights that they need to, ones that they can basically guarantee. And, I mean, especially Augie and Sly are just menaces right now.
I mean, really, right now, if you just got that 1.5, you've got that boost that just is going to give you that ADS boost, as well as something that it completely negates one of the negatives of that LMG. Then you are just going to be allowed to have some free roam. And that's what Augie is really allowed to do, having outside that window, having control over the window, the construction window as well. Just complete domain. That is Augie's area, as Gym Bedroom is going to be the site chosen for the 3rd round, and hopefully some difference, some change going on for WCU. Is now, it felt like once again they kind of deterred the attackers with defensive utility almost. But what do you think is happening that's causing them to just lose these rounds, or at least lose those first 2 rounds?
Well, I think a lot of it really rests on Concordia here. They're playing the utility game perfectly, and anytime Western Colorado University is out of position, really at all, they're getting punished so hard for it. So they got to play even safer and force Concordia into positions where they got to be pushing up. It might even be operator changes to kind of force them out.
Yeah, forcing a operator changes right now is going to be a little harder. I want to see how the attacker repick is going to kind of change things up. I don't know if it is at all, because it feels like such a massive change that we haven't heard too much about. I honestly wonder if it's really going to affect anything at all, or whether we might see it, twice a match. Will we see specialized operators?
Yeah, there's only just a few sites that really just get shut down by an individual operator, and I mean, typically in the game, you kind of know what you're looking at potentially from the opponents. I mean, the last two round wins can't be picked again, so it's a game of like you just cancel them out one by one. It's ooh, okay, nice Sully right there. While there's distraction going out on the window, he finds a kill. But as I was saying, it's just an elimination game. That's not too hard typically to guess what it's going to be. There's not too many really crazy things happening here. Boo, though, still playing on this position, replacing Recycle first and watching the Breach, trying to make sure that this extension is going to get its mileage for all the resources that they put in. And there's the rush right there. Boo is going to get it as soon as our push is in, continuing to watch the angle, but Sully finds another one on the same spot from the same window himself.
For every Boo, there must be a Sully, yin and yang. These two always kind of seem to meet up. One must kill the other. As we are.
Oh my god! Wait! It's thematic. It's like Monsters Inc. Oh my god!
Yeah, I was realizing. I only just realized that you are gonna have Boo and Sully. Wow, that is. You could not make that up if you tried. The stars have aligned for these two to have a rivalry. As right now, we might see another fight going on. The Maestro Cam is going to spot Sully, who's going to have to rotate through logistics using that hammer. So now Concordia is going to have that control, but Sly could meet a dastardly end if they are not careful, as they are going to be able to find Cam. No! They're actually going to run out of bullets, and unfortunately, Cam Louie is going to be able to escape. It's a huge miss for the side of Concordia.
Concordia is starting to get a little stuck out here. The frag grenade should be dealing with the Maestro Cam, making it possible to start pushing up through this angle. But with two players stacked up on each other and another Maestro Cam just ahead, it's going to come down to 50-50 gunfights. And Augie's already taken one with Claude, who's retreating back. Teammate takes a kill, though. It's a 2v2, and Sly is starting to put the plant down, but the intel is still out there for the defenders. Gameless finds Sly to stop, and Augie has to do it himself. He's got the res ability, but there's two of them right there, and Gameless eventually going to find that shot with his EBR.
And there we go. It's still pretty close. Actually, right as the Maestro was wriggling on up, we actually saw the yellow pings, and the planter was directly in the line of sight of the Maestro. And I think that is one of the worst things to have is God mode, is you're able to see exactly when somebody can clearly not see what is right in front of their face. I mean, Rainbow Six is a kind of clustered game. You might have that often where you're like, well, is that a head, or is that just a piece of prop? Is that a cardboard box? And eventually the cardboard box has killed you. So
yeah,
you gotta be careful.
Yeah, I always have that problem when I'm late for my annual eye checkup at the eye doctor. You know, sometimes the cardboard boxes, they got hands, you know?
It might need some glasses, Treasure. I think that's not a cardboard box that's beating you up. It is a person. And luckily, despite Claude, that's
a highly trained Spetsnaz operator right there.
Yeah, a shocker as that might be. Claude, despite not finding the planter, we are going to see WCU winning their first round on the, usually the tertiary site, the one you might not see the defenders win. I think that could bode well for this basement site, but the vertical play might throw that all into chaos.
All right, Claude has not switched off to the barbed wire. I was kind of expecting that to be a variable thing. They do have a couple impact grenades that are hopefully going to be used for impact tricking, sort of taking that time away from Sly, who's got a hard breach almost definitely through the kitchen hatch. It's such a valuable spot to be opening. It's your, standard thing to be doing at that point. I hope, Liv is placing that shield a little further up. I hope he's making sure to use that Jaeger ADS that he has been provided there, because that's a great position. It's going to slow down any dirt push, and it just takes away that cross angle that dirt becomes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if dirt is a power position, but also not at the same time, as Livid is actually going to be the first death. And you mentioned just that power position, and it is completely gone for WCU. You not only lose a big part, possibly, of an attack, you lose your smoke. So you almost have no plant denial besides Boo's C4, and that is a very, very situational type of play, as the Z-ping is going to give away the ghost operator. Sonar is not going to be able to find it. And the bullets have stopped firing for just a second, but that definitely benefits Concordia, as you're going to see Poison and Sully. We're going to go up and try to take out this floor.
Yeah, this is going to make sure that players can't be down below. There's a C4 on the defense. They want to make sure that one's not finding any of their hard breachers at all, and it's going to start making Armory a very dangerous place to be. And there you go. Claude trying to contest it is going to be taken out by Sully. He's been taking a lot of these first picks. And Sonar, despite lurking out there in dirt for quite a while, is going to take a death to Cam Lewis, who is just on a whim almost decided to swing out there.
Boo is seeming to be the rock right now of WCU. They're able to usually take one in almost every single engagement, but they need to take more than one because they are down at this 4v3 situation, and they're not going to be able to get the hatch open because of the impacts of Cam Louie. There are no more impacts on the board, so we should see this hatch open, but I mean, it's a couple seconds off the clock that the attack really have to force. We might see another one. There it is Cam Louie has been the peaking demon this round.
Yeah, putting his back up to dirt, but hearing the audio calls soon enough to know that it's time to flick their way back. The defense is down, and there's a full minute at this rate. Concordia is looking pretty comfortable now. They're slowly ticking down the player count at Western Colorado.
There it is. Boo, I mentioned they took one. They were able to take out Sully, and taking out Sully is a huge pat. They've had such a big impact, but they're immediately going to be refragged, as Blue might be Recycle's first death point. They're able to take a whole bunch of damage, but still alive for now, and that's going to be extremely important. Sly putting down that diffuser as Cam Louie is going to try to swing into hallway. They've had a huge impact on this round, but they might need to clutch it for WCU, as, the outline barely obscured by the shelf and the plaster of the wall, as Augie is able to take down Recycle first. Cam Louie eventually able to find the planters. Now we're in a 2v1 situation. The reload happening. Augie's peeking the corner. They're going to fire the tracers, but it's not just going to be in time, as Cam Louie's going to be able to escape full HP, and we are going to see them sneak up the stairs, and CUW has set themselves in the positions they want for this post-plant situation, and that might slim the chances of winning this post-plant much, much more. They are going to go on the diffuser, and are they going to try to fake it? Nope, we are going to see Poison go on up and get a easy shot through the floor.
Cam Louie following up on every single bit of intel his teammates could provide, but every single one was just 10 feet off. The two post-plant now defenders, once attackers now turned defenders, just a step ahead at every point. And I mean, the full rotate eventually just ended up spelling the defeat. I mean, Cam Louie can't do it all himself when he's left all alone there. And another round goes to Concordia University, Wisconsin. They've already gotten their 3 for this half, so they're just looking for that extra credit, moving a little bit ahead as they can.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to get at least 4 on the attacking side, I think that feels good, because Clubhouse, I think because of how much it is strategized to death, as the defense, you might have that advantage because you kind of know exactly what might happen on the attack, because a lot of time is going to be crazy. And it seems that 2 of us didn't load into picking up. Hey, that's not the worst thing in the world. Vigil isn't the worst thing. I think that you could be random operated. What is the worst operator that you think you could be random for a church site, Treasure?
Oh my god.
Siege knowledge, go.
In this play, Cavieta. At this level, she's going to be awful to have. I mean, her best thing is that she gives impact at that rate, because you're not gonna just run up on someone without getting droned out. So I definitely say Cavieta, but that's nothing special to church, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Vigil has impacts, but I think the bad thing about this situation is that we've seen Claude anchor a lot. Claude has been kind of in the site, or at least not very around the site. Yeah. Who knows? We could see some stellar play going off here if you thrown out into the deep end. Sometimes you might swim.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, he's been outside of gunfights, so not getting that chance to shine. I mean, he's been waiting for some opportunities, and he's already made his way out to try and make use of it. He's just lurking out in garage for now, so he'll have to rotate and find another opportunity, as the attackers are coming up from the north, going to be started as per the usual, and just as last time, by Dirt and Kitchen.
Livid, being a little smarter this time. They're still going to be in dirt, and I think they're actually going to use a smoke canister very early in the round, as it's going to push Sonar back just a little bit, and doing a little bit of damage to them, as this seems to be the place of engagement. WCU, they went down so early last round, so the longer that they can waste, the more benefit they will definitely have.
Yeah, someone's just sitting there on drone, maybe trying to bait out some more canisters, or otherwise just waiting for that opportunity to strike. Because last time, once he made that peak, he had that kill and was able to rush right down dirt. This time it's not going to be quite the same, even with some more intel to his name. Sully, again, opening up the floor. It's nice and formulaic. They want that pressure. They want to make it cleanly and make sure that they can set up the same situation as last round. Augie will find a kill here on Claude. He wasn't able to successfully swim there in that kind of switched off role, taking it impromptu.
Sunk for sure. As there is going to be a refrag, it's going to be Boo claiming Sly, and that's going to possibly put the diffuser down, and you are going to have less impact, as Sly, who has been some sort of player when it comes to just opening up these areas. But never mind about Sly. Augie is claiming their second of the round, and they've still got more HP. They can heal themselves up, and they are going to have Boo is going to get down. It's a 4v2, and this attack has just been so oppressive. Camelou's going to have to sprint off, and eventually they're going to be the only ones left, and eventually none left.
That's a 3K for Augie that round, running it down blue once again, and finding little resistance outside of the roam out there. They're just not ready for someone to gun their way through blue.
Once we swapping sides, I think could be benefit, but yeah,
Okay.
I think we're going 2 for 2 on not being able to pick your operators. It's not
Don't get them time. It looks like they at least have the 6th pick, if nothing else. Here they're heading to gym bedroom to switch some things out. The basement is just not going Western's way, so switching it up, trying to get that second round. They really don't want to see that 5-1 half that starts steamrolling towards an ending they do not want.
And that's the thing, is you kind of already see WCU. They've been put in a uncomfortable position, going up 4-1 in their defensive side, and now essentially the game is not going to be on your side. The servers are just being a little goofy silly.
A little goofy silly.
And if you're able to win this gym site, this was the only site that WCU actually won, and it was still a decently close matchup. We had a 2v1 essentially in the end, so it is not far from the realm of possibility for Concordia to win this round based on kind of how they've played recently.
Yeah, they're gonna have to deal with Recycle first. He went down pretty early last round, but Boo played that role as the fill-in really well, and I believe it was Sully actually that was just really making it a problem for the defenders from the window in construction. So that's gonna be something that they have to watch this time. They can't let them just get away with the same thing.
Yeah, the same thing has kind of been a story with Concordia. They seem to be going through the same thing over and over, and we've seen the same site kind of put over double. We first saw CCTV go twice, then we saw Church go twice. So, and they're still not able to win it. It is still Concordia who's able to do the same thing, get the same result, a victory. So a change of pace is in play. And Recycle first, they are cornered right now in cash. The drone should be able to spot them, and they might not be long for life. We are going to see the engagement happen. Poison Luck's going to take a bunch of damage, and there's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. And eventually, after a whole bunch of bullets stop flying, it's going to be 3v3. Nobody has the true advantage yet. It's still a very tense situation, with Concordia having 3 members left. Still the diffuser, still hard breach, but with WC lacking a plant denial.
Ooh, Sully gets another one. He's coming from a different angle this time, and now the attackers have taken full control of construction at a relatively quick pace on the back of that push into cash room. Cam, Louie, and Boo having to just hold tight angles and wait to see where this is coming from.
And this time gap, the amount of time that is left, is not going to help your defense. It's only going to allow the droning, which we have seen Concordia do a lot. They have used drones wonderfully to spot out any roamers, any defenders. And yeah, the Arudi's going to go on forward, use the punch, take out one. Are they able to find the second? No, they're going to be caught on the reload, and it's just going to be up to Boo. They don't have a C4, but they have been the most consistent member of WCU on this entire map. They have found one each every round, and they're going to have to put up 2 here for WCU to kind of stay in this, keep a 5-1 score line. As Sly's going to just go straight through the Surrey gate. They're going to find the drone that was not on their side, and here we go. We are in a post-plant situation with 40 seconds left. Boo is going to angle themselves towards the window, and oh, do they spot the hand? No, they don't. Augie, the window demon, as we saw this peeking demon earlier. Yeah, they have just been finding so many kills through these windows, and now we end up at a 5-1 scoreline.
Well, that was an extremely oppressive attacking half, and typically the defense is going to be even more friendly to a team on Clubhouse. This is Concordia's map choice, so that's not anything super surprising to see them having success here on the first half. They're going to CCTV for their first objective, somewhere that they won out both of the 2 rounds that they had to attack, so they're probably plenty familiar with the defense here.
And I like the Ying. The difference in operators is very unique. The Cali, the Ying, we had an IQ, but I think it's a smart option to go to Habana. You're gonna lose a lot having IQ, but Goyo, a last hurrah possibly for the man who is gonna be reworked next week. Is it for worse? Is it for better? Depends on who you ask.
I know what makes me sad.
I think it's for the better of Siege.
I just want a giant pile of shields. Is that too much to ask?
Yes, it is, Treasure.
They don't even need to be explosive. They just need to be some cover to hide behind. They just need to be the most powerful gadget in the game. We are getting a nice little pool of shadow where I don't know, maybe Concordia is sending Western to the Shadow Realm at this rate. I mean, there's been a lot already. Those 5 rounds put back to back, and only a couple of them are that contested.
Yeah, we saw 2 only. I think it was only 2 rounds of Concordia that they had less than 3 members alive, and both those times were actually post-plant situations.
That's right.
So yeah, you're gonna have a. Oh my god, that is just kind of funny to see. Is just Livid walking forward. The giant looming rectangle is not going to be on Livid's side, I'll tell you that, as Augie is going to find the first kill, and that is not even 20 seconds into the round, you lose a member of your attacking squad, an anti-roam operator, and somebody who's able to put these drones out. We're going to see some bandit tricks happen, and the first one is going to go towards Sly.
Oh my god, and Claude goes down. There's not going to be a second chance to bandit trick. The diffuser is up top as well. That run out is just crazy effective. Poison's going to take a hit to the foot, barely sticking around just due to being a 3 armor with some steel-toed boots. Cam Louie's got to start pushing up here. He's got himself in a tough position. Without any kills from up top from his teammates, there's just not a lot he can do, especially with the defender pulling up. Sully once again making that impact. Boo's stuck outside, at least in a position to pick up diffuser and start rotating that around, maybe through logistics. And Recycle First is watching the window, just looking for something.
Yeah, and the bad part here is Boo is only really gonna have that sniper rifle. And if anybody's played CS, they've played Valorant, you know that when you're up against a 2v5, 1v5, whatever, you are not gonna want these single fire one-shot weapons, because you might have multiple people going at you all at once and you can't deal with them. As now, we're not even gonna see one happen. The diffuser put on the floor, and we're close to a flawless round on the first defensive side from Concordia. They might be snuffing this one out before they even have a chance to play.
This has been oppressive. It's crazy to see here. Recycle First is just playing for extra credit points. The little pennies on top here. I mean, just holding on that KD. I mean, as a support player, I don't think Recycle First is super concerned with this anyways. This is a chance to take a timeout. There's a tactical timeout in function. Then you get to think about what they're up against here, kind of slow down the pace of the game, and think about what they're going to be able to do to fight back against this. But it's been so oppressive that, I mean, it's got me frazzled, honestly.
I think we've seen so many rounds where Livid has been the first
No
one,
flawless,
but
no flawless.
yeah, no flawless.
That's what it's all
Sly gonna
about.
get caught out, and that just seemed like Sly was going for a jog there. Didn't know what the goal of that was, but otherwise, Sly going down flawless or otherwise, this is a Concordia round through and through, and eventually we're gonna get a confirmed map point already. We are at a 6-1, and there hasn't been much contesting from WCU.
Yeah, I will say that one, kind of going down to the bottom of the time, is going to put a dent in Concordia's attempt at this speed run.
I would say that we've only seen one time where WCU has gotten the opening pick, and in round 6 we kind of had a so quick 1v1 or trade that it's impossible to say if one team got the opening pick or not. So only one round have we seen WCU get the opening pick, and it was in the second round where they weren't even able to win it out. I mentioned before that Sly got taken down, that Livid has been the first one to go down in a decent number of these rounds. And it's hard because Livid is playing these more support-oriented operators that need to stay alive. Nomad needs to put her air jabs, and Smoke needs to stay alive to throw those smoke canisters at the end of the round. And especially because Livid's not able to put those drones out as well. It's just, it's a double stab. You're going to have a lack of information and a lack of utility.
Yeah, it looks like drastic times call for drastic measures, something I haven't seen in a little bit. This is the, say it with me, SSG Rome. We've got the castle barricades, we got the vigil, we got the mute. Gonna shut down as much utility as we can. I guess Mozzie isn't making an appearance, he's the one, but they are getting the extra value out of Legion and Malusi especially, because she gives you so much intel on where the opponents are going to be coming from, and similarly those Legions give you sound cues. So they're going to be playing up top and opening up hatches. That way they've got ways to rotate back down to site, especially if there's any sort of rush or anything. Western Colorado is starting off pushing out by dirt and probably going just as we saw on the other half for that hatch opening.
And no deaths, no bullets being traded just yet, but you can see everybody on Concordia is kind of seeing where this attack might be coming from. You're going to have 2 on the cameras. You're still going to have Sonar on the roam, who the goal here is just going to be try to take out anybody hanging out inside of kitchen. So Livid needs to be a little active in how they're going to put these air jabs down, or even a drone, perhaps, just to deter anybody roaming around here. It's actually Poison was there as well. He's going to drop all the way down to that basement. So there are a lot of roamers, which, shocker, it is a roam-oriented strategy.
The air jab there is going to prevent any later game rotates, especially in a post-plant situation. Is thinking wall forwards, and otherwise going to protect your hard breaches if there's someone right around the corner right now. Sully is waiting around stockroom looking for anyone to step foot outside. They know that that hatch has been opened up off of calls from their teammates, and with 2 of them there, that could be a big prize for the team.
And Poison is going to be able to find the first frag. Sully could find more in this area. They're going to find the feed, and eventually it is going to be Cam Louis down. So we might be looking at the final round of this map. Concordia's map pick of Clubhouse. It's only Boo and Recycle first. Nobody on the side of WCU is currently positive right now, and Boo's going to have to find 1, if not 2, to kind of break that streak, but nobody on the side of Concordia is really looking to test the metal.
Yeah, it's when they're holding angles. There's not a lot of time left. They need someone to walk in front of their line of sight, get a pick, and then start moving on it. But if Concordia is not going to move around and expose themselves, it's just not going to come. Boo is alone against 5 players with 35 seconds. This map is all but in the books at this rate. Maybe a Rotero can find something exciting, at least maybe blow something up and get some points for the scoreboard, but it's not going to find kills if he has no side pressure to use with it. That is just a phenomenal display, a flawless round to finish it out, no less. They didn't quite get it last round, and they finished it out here. But Concordia just eviscerating Western Colorado on this map, only giving away a single round, and that was on Western Colorado's defense too. What's going to be a little bit easier to do.
Yeah, so very great job. You see Sully up front, the MVP. They just made a large impact with entries, with these round plays, especially with the sledgehammer. We saw Sully a lot on the attacking side, breaking open that kitchen floor, and they were able to kill their nemesis, Boo, that dastardly demon of a 5-year-old child.
I think Boo is actually Sully. I think that's just what she calls him. Is fighting himself. Fighting your demons.
She's Kitty. No, Sully's Kitty.
Oh, you're so right. No, that's messed up.
SMH my head.
Sully's beating up the kid.
Don't know your Monsters Inc. lore.
It's been too long since I watched Monsters Inc. Well, anyways, on that terrible disappointment, we'll go to a break here for a minute. We'll be back. We've got Oregon for our second map up between Concordia University and Western Colorado University. So maybe grab a snack. We're going late tonight.
All right, we are back, and we just finished with map 1. I am Light Rose, and joining me, as always, is the lovely Treasure. And our second map is going to be Oregon, a very new map that WCU is going to be going for. But how we saw in Clubhouse was very, very one-sided, a 7-1 victory from Columbia. And is that going to kind of translate on over to Oregon based on how the maps are?
I'm a little worried for Western Colorado University that it might. This is the most similar map to Clubhouse in a lot of ways, and Concordia University, Wisconsin is just very patient, and that is something that these maps really reward. They're setting up their lines of sight so cleanly, and they're not throwing away any bodies for anything. They won't peek. They won't get aggressive when they don't need to, and most of all, they're winning gunfights and those are the exact things that these maps reward.
Possible target ban? Question mark. Yeah, the Finca is going to be off the board. Columbia, I believe, going to be a little sad about that, but I'm guessing that Augie has more skill than on some operators other than a Finca, but we'll have to see, as it's actually not them on the attacking first. It is going to be Western Colorado.
Yeah, Western Colorado on attack here. Then we'll get to use the Finca. Finca is really nice on this map. I mean, she can add a lot to a team on just about any map right now. She just brings a lot to the table between her explosives and her boost that can even res. And one of those LMGs that are so in vogue right now. So other solutions will be brought out. An IQ on the first pick here from Recycle First. That would really surprise me if that stuck around. I mean, Valkyrie is off the board, maybe for an Echo. Maybe they're worried about seeing that come out. Okay, yeah, that's the sixth pick. But a Buck is also going to be pretty useful. I think they're assuming that this is going to be the second floor hold because he has a little bit rougher of a time on basement.
Tachanka, though, actually, the swap onto that, I want to know if they have a goal in mind to kind of bring over the Tachanka. There isn't a smoke on board. I think we should mention that because usually smoke is just extremely prevalent on this side, especially on dorms. You're able to put shield down, you're able to throw smoke canisters in a lot of varying spots that are just so good to deny these attackers. But the Tachanka got a lot of Shumika launchers. He's got a lot of Shumika launchers, able to create those rotates just like we're seeing as Poison's bringing out the M870. I kind of like that.
That's a bit of an uncommon one there. He might be just trying to play... Oh, okay. Unreinforced closet wall. Might be playing close there to try and get an early pick before reinforcing and re-electrocuting. So maybe a bit of a gambit play, especially with that ADS already being set up in place. So definitely a more avant-garde play there, a little riskier, but with potentially much more reward.
And WCU, they seem to be going for that bedroom style. The drone should spot Augie, and yep, the communication is there, but Augie is not moving. They are going to be as rigid as ever. And here comes the Rotero. They're going to have to back off. They're going to take a little damage, but it's just not going to be enough. Is the reinforcement going to go out? Is Augie going to die? Oh, the tension is released.
No way.
They're going to be able to survive. And that could be a big play as Augie was able to waste a little bit of time. They're going to take a lot of damage in that process, but they're still alive. They've got that C4, and you've still got Sly, who is just bringing out these firebolts. They still have 8 left.
Against the odds, it ended up being a relatively low impact play right there. Definitely adding some pressure, but really the time wasting is coming at the top of Armory Stairs, where the Shimikas are doing their job with 10 of them. They're just burning out that whole area for plenty of time. But Western Colorado is just stacking up on the hallway, waiting for those all to die down, which they now have, and they can start to play make.
And we have the halfway point, and nobody is dead. There's a lot of damage done to a lot of members, and Right now, I think WCU definitely, this really benefits them. Their Rotero is going to go on forward, and it is going to be able to destroy those bandit batteries. As you still got Claude underneath, who's trying to just catch somebody hiding in those dorms area. Right now, it is going to be Poison who's going to be the first victim, and so WCU is going to be actually finding 3 on their first attacking round, and they might be able to match their single-handed round count. And now, as we are going to see a little bit of the dust settle, Sly and Sonar, as Sly's going to have a little bit of an HP advantage because, you know, Tachanka is that 3 speed, but it's not going to be enough as it's just Sonar left against the horde of WCU.
One round did find his smart, but just wasn't enough for him. Sonar's going to find his kill right there, taking out Claude, but he's still got 3 to deal with and a diffuser down. They know his location on top of White Stairs, so he's got to get pretty darn lucky to say the least. He knows the location of 1, but the head's not going to quite present itself. Only about 30 seconds here. He's going to be hard-pressed to find kills, let alone the defuse.
And especially with taking that little bullet sponge of damage that he had. Now revealing themselves, the drone is actually going to catch Sonar as well. So there we go, with WCU immediately matching the amount of rounds that they got in the first map. This is looking infinitely better than we saw before.
Yeah, that's such a wide margin as well. I mean, there's almost no chance of Concordia winning that once the execute was finished. And that's not something you can say about any rounds in the last map.
But basement is going to be the choice here. Jaeger and Wamai going to be on the board. Very, I think, typical for this type of site. Going on Malusi, so is the lack of a smoke going to be good in the end? Because usually Oregon is a staple and smoke is the staple on Oregon. So, you know, usually you like to bring the British boy. He recently got a face reveal in the newest cinematic that we saw before for the first time. And I have to say, Treasure, he definitely looks British.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Take that as you will.
There we go. The diplomatic answer. Well, the Shimika launchers, nevertheless, are going to do quite a bit. So I use them very early, which isn't what you're typically going to be seeing with smoke grenades. I mean, it's not really what you see typically with the Shimika launchers either. They still bring the shield, so that's plenty capable of defending bunker. So none of that's going to be too different from what you see with the smoke. It's just going to be the DP27 instead of an SMG11, which is worse in a gunfight, honestly. It's got a near bottomless mag there, but the fire rate really hurts. Just like we saw when Sly was fighting through the floor, it just wasn't the fire rate that he needed in order to find his mark.
Mm-hmm. Sly actually being pretty forward. The drone is going to catch them, and it is a smart decision to back off, and Sly is going to do exactly that. The drone is going to survive, taunting Sly. It's unfortunate that we actually were able to witness that on camera. And now, here comes the Rotero. It is going to detonate itself in position. Sly's going to get out, and are they going to reinforce? Yes, they are. So not a lot of time is off the board before you're going to have to back off as Concordia. And I think that's definitely beneficial for WCU, as the Rotero is actually going to go to Laundry as well, using these in really beneficial positions, as Augie kind of seems to be the barrier between a full-fledged attacking rush here.
The attack is fully dedicated here in bunker. No pressure on either Freezer or Laundry right now. And now the players are coming down to pressure Pillar as well. That's going to be really important for taking out Augie. He's lost his shield as well, so he's going to be playing to his death now. There's players watching him from a couple angles. It's just a matter of them peeking both at the same time. It just doesn't come. He's actually able to get away with surviving even this long against the odds.
Eventually going to be taken down, as Poison actually found a kill with the M870, and that could be a real come-upper in this round if they don't expect it. Is Sully could find one. No, it is going to be recycled, taken down. Diffuser dropped as well, and Poison just has so much close-range damage. This round could be turned on a dime if Sully is able to find something. No frags, no flashes as Sully gets taken down, and Poison's going to have to do so much with the shotgun here, but they're going to get shot through the wall. And now we are going to see Western Colorado find the second on this basement site. So the question is, where is Concordia going to go now?
Yeah, second floor, no dice. Basement, no dice. 2 rounds going handily towards Western Colorado University. It's already a totally different story from what we saw in map 1.
All right, and dorms, going back to dorms, and I want to know kind of how if the adaptation is going to come forward with Concordia, because I mentioned, the lack of a smoke. They're still just keeping with the Jaeger, Bandit, Mute, Tachanka, Malusi, and now there's 2 rounds in a row that it hasn't worked.
Yeah, I feel like at this rate, maybe switching up something on the roster might be really the move. I mean, we mentioned the smoke. I don't know if that's going to change anything too fundamentally. It might be a difference of how they play the round this time, but Concordia has a tendency to play pretty to the book.
We're not. I want to know if in the rulebook timeouts are allowed for Clash Royale games. You think it's?
Oh my god.
If it's are timeouts 3 minutes? Because I think the Clash Royale game is 3 minutes.
They're pretty quick.
Yeah, you get it on over in an instant. Get that 3 crown. Go on that trophy grind.
Oh my god.
Did you know Clash Royale esports? Have you ever watched that?
I'm aware of it. I played it when it came out, but I've never been involved in the esports thing. It's really phenomenal that it exists.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about esports and kind of how it is a lot of times if the market is there, the developer will put forward what they need to kind of get it off the ground, I think, unless you're Nintendo and then you hate Smash Bros.
Yep. Tell me about it. But in this game, keeping it back on track here, what you're paying us for or such, what y'all tuned in for. Sly is immediately just getting aggressive, just like before, using those Shimikas to keep the enemies from actually entering the building at all once again, trying to keep them out of master bedroom. Livid has gone down, so already a first pick going towards Concordia University. And Sully's looking for more downstairs. There's been some hard breach. He's going to find a second kill right here, just barely pinging that head. There's the Sully we saw before.
Yeah, now they finally, I think, woken up at last in these first 2 rounds that have been decidedly in Western Colorado's favor. It's going to be Sully who's really going to draw blood first on the side of Concordia. Sly is just still waiting behind the shield. 3 ADSs, a mute jammer. Nobody can really do anything about it on the side of Western Colorado, and that's going to force them to adapt. The last time that we saw a team adapt, it was actually the defense who fell. So I think, 1 out of 1 times, those are pretty good experimental subject groups. So obviously the odds are on Western Colorado's side.
Yeah, well, at this point, in this round at least, they're starting to fall away, especially as Kimberly takes some heavy damage, reducing the life total on their team to less than 2 health bars. That Shamika is going to finish him off, finally finding Sly an opportunity to get that fire kill. And finally, Attic is getting opened up, but there's not going to be too much they can do with it. Boo's got to get that drone rolling and make sure that they have the intel and the utility destroyed on the way in.
It's still a flawless round, actually, for Concordia, and it might be as well a flawless round, as now Sully has dropped the diffuser. Boo, it can't really do much, as they just essentially have to kind of abandon that strategy. There's no hope that they're A, going to get the diffuser, or B, gonna get a 1v5 in the next 20 seconds. Nobody's really peeking them. It's just going to be Sonar, as they do want to get that flawless round. It would be a huge game changer considering kind of how this first went, and we are going to get it, a flawless round, and a lot of that is down to Sully's 3K.
Yeah, Sully coming alive once again. It's like Concordia has finally found that reaction to Western Colorado playing at this level now and really keeping ahead of them in the last 2 rounds. They, I don't, they came up storming in Clubhouse, and I think this is a statement right here. A statement that they're not going to let the same happen to them on Oregon.
I like how we're having an actual debate with our production team. It's like, okay, our timeout's going to be able to support?
Am I allowed to veto? Am I allowed to veto the Clash Royale break?
Yeah, we're here to get some siege. We're get on through it. A timeout.
How much rules pressure do I get as a commentator?
Timeouts are strictly for Rainbow Six purposes.
Yes, you have to discuss the game.
We're gonna go into your voice channel and listen on in to make sure that their standards are being followed.
Sounds like someone's booting up Clash. The only Clash I want to hear about has no hair.
She's got an electric shield and yells a lot.
Iconic. I can't wait to hit my Clash arc where I also have no hair and yell. That'll be my glove phase.
That feels just like every man around is like mid-40s, so you've got a bit there, Treasure.
Yeah, we'll give it 20 years. I'll be a white male YouTube or what do you call it?
Gonna give tech tips.
The one where they just talk about things, like play Call of Duty and rant about people.
Any Twitch streamer?
Yeah.
I don't talk about. What is that about though? Livid, Blackbeard. Blackbeard is in play and usually not a good operator to choose, possibly one of the worst attacking operators you could choose in competitive Siege, because he doesn't bring too much even at all to the table. As the first kill is going to be Cam Louie. Now we are going to see WCU going forward, and Augie is immediately shut down on that swing as the Shoemaker launcher is just going to try to defend, and it's going to allow Sly to reinforce this wall and give a little bit of a buffer zone, as right now the attack is actually very forward eventually, and Claude trying to open up a little bit of a bigger space is going to get taken out by Sly, and Livid hoping that that paper mache shield is going to give them an advantage, as now it is a 2v2. 1v1 is Livid, and no chance at using the Blackbeard gadget, and only Boo left, it seems, that we have kind of looking in a mirror. It seems to have been Boo almost every single time. And now, as they have had a quad kill, it is Sully. And they're actually going to be able to revive Livid, as Sully is not going to be able to get down there in time. Sully has had a great past couple of rounds, and they're going to have to get something even more. Do they spot the gun barrel? Yes, they're going to be able to find Livid. Boo, with on lower HP, they are not going to be able to find the kill.
No ace.
And Sully is going to get the triple, get the defuse, and the ace is denied by Sully.
Man, and more importantly, the round taken away as Sully evens it up for Concordia University. They're relying on some hero plays here. I think that's a 3K coming out too for Sully to manage to get the opportunity to defuse right there. A huge impact right there, but Concordia is just not finding the same value for the wider roster as they were before. They went out on basement, but only through a clutch play, and we're starting to see these rounds that get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, but I mean, we're kind of met at a 2-2 scoreline. It's something that both of these rounds have really been swapped. It's been a lot closer, I think, for Concordia than it has been on the side of Western Colorado. You know, we just had a 1v1 post-plant clutch situation that denied an ace, and usually those aren't considered like extremely one-sided, contrary to popular belief.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Well, here out in dining, that hold is immediately going to be extending into the bathroom a little bit, and it looks like with an ADS on that hallway, the shower corridor will also be an important holding spot for Concordia's defense here. They get the Mira, which did get through banning, so she'll be, I think, holding out into probably meeting hall if I'm not seeing any setup over here. But I'm curious to see what they do with her.
I mean, Mira, Oregon,
Maybe upstairs.
Oregon is like, I feel
I
like
guess that makes
it's
more sense.
less played for Mira. That even when she gets through like she is now, it's hard for teams to really actually use her. She might get some play on baseman, but you know you're kind of losing something if you bring the Mira possibly, and some teams don't want to risk that. So Mira on kitchen dining. This is new. We don't usually see kitchen dining. Instead, it's usually kitchen meeting.
Yeah, interesting to see how Western Colorado is going to deal with this. Right off the bat, one player going upstairs to check out what's happening over there because the dormitory is a nice objective there for looking down into B site. It'll allow you to uproot defenders down there, but it's going to take some investment of resources. There's mute jammers up there, and Sonar's over there as well. But Sonar's starting to get pinched in from Attic, Master, and the big window. So he's going to be seeing a lot of action in just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, and Sonar might need some help from Sully, who's actually all the way over in Armory. They could be possibly facing an enemy of their own, but they could make such a huge play in this if they are not spot out in Armory. Sonar, if Sonar's continually able to kind of make room, which they are not, as they have been now shot down by Livid. A little bit of Caster's Curse there. But now it's only going to be Sully on that second floor. The opportunity to kind of get a sneaky punch in is gone. But Sly is going to make an explosive impact as Livid is now going to go down as Poison has been put through, as well as Sully still on the second floor. This could be big, like I said. But no, they're going to miss. They're going to make their position known. And now it is still a 4v3, and Sully is somehow going to have to find a way out of this.
There's so much pressure from up top. Concordia is fully uprooted, just like I said they would be if the pressure got up there. Retero is trying to find him here, but Sully's continuing to make a mark. Watching a couple angles here is going to be even less safe out in Master than it was just a moment ago, but the attackers are mostly just droning down into the first floor. They don't have so much time to be dealing with Sully with less than a minute still up. And Sully's still plenty patient. He knows they're going to have to push him at some point. Otherwise, he can make a huge post-plant play. If it comes to that, Cam Louis is going to kill in Augie in sight. And this is Sully's time. He has to make the play. It's do or die.
Now the diffuser has been going down. Sully trying to use what they see through the floor, but it's just not going to happen, as now that diffuser has gone down. Drone, there's somebody on the white stairs, and a breath of HP left on the side of Cam Louis, and that's going to be a real killer for Sully's chances of winning this one, as somebody's in Attic, and Claude is going to be able to take out Sully. And for now, Western Colorado does have the advantage, 3-2, as we're seeing a much closer Oregon.
It's getting pretty tough here for Concordia. Western Colorado doing a great job of clearing out the second floor, making quick work of the Jaeger, and really doing a great job of kind of managing their losses with Sully. They knew he was going to be a problem, but they kept their eyes on the prize and cleared out sight from above, which is where they were really going to excel a lot more. Sully's going to be hard to pull out. He's fast, he's slippery, and he's shooting well.
Dorms has been like, it feels like it's been a little iffy for Concordia. The last time we were here, they were able to actually get a flawless round, but and then the time before that, they had been beaten by the side of Western Colorado. And if a 3-3 scoreline kind of ends up where we end up, then it could be on the side of Concordia, because we only saw their attacking rounds, really, the last time on Clubhouse. So it's possible they're just an attacker-sided team, which is why we are seeing the scoreline that we are. I think it's only speculation at this point, because the way that we saw Concordia play in the first map compared to this one, it feels a little off.
Yeah, well, in addition, this is Western Colorado's map choice, so I imagine that's probably figuring into this a little more. They are playing a lot more comfortably. Like, it's very clear that they're having a better game than they were last night.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Tachanka, and the Tachanka being used constantly, it seems like it's kind of working. Like the Shumika launchers that Sly is using in comparison with the shield ADSs, the Mew Jammer that is always being brought by Augie, lend itself to this kind of fortress that is shut down. Like Trophy, the last time we were here, Sly was just able to completely deny the attackers from coming on that area, and it doesn't seem like they're really going to try. It's only Boo on that southern side, and all the others are kind of going through Attic as Livid hanging on through Armory. Augie not going to be able to find the shot. They're 0-5 currently. They just haven't been able to really find their shots on this second map, as Livid's going to go in, immediately rotate themselves 180 degrees upright, and now they have considered Armory as Western Colorado position.
Yeah, this is the beginning of that pressure that they really want. They've got a player all the way through Attic already, with drones coming in as well. This has Concordia scurrying to get out of the way. Sly narrowly managing to avoid gunshots and explosives. Backed up against a wall that could be easily thermited away.
Sully going through Attic. Are they going to find one? The thermite is gone, and the diffuser is dropped, and that's going to possibly change the round, at least for a good 30 seconds or so. As now Sully is going to scurry all the way over to meeting side. It's going to be possibly another roam. This roam has just been kind of deadly for Western Colorado in certain areas. As now you're going to find one. Watch for the Claymore, and there it is. Sully is rotating once again, as now it is Concordia who has the advantage, and Sully is having so much impact. It's hard to understate it.
He's headed right back up to Big Tower. At this rate, Western Colorado is going to need to change up how they're playing regarding their flanks. There's not enough eyes on the drones. There's 2 players down, so they've got a couple of them pacing through there right now. They've seen that pressure. But the threat, oh my god, another one as they're starting to get careless. Sully picks one up, while Poison Luck gets one as well. Livid is all alone in sight. Wow, they don't know where he is. The communication didn't quite come out in time. He gets 2 immediately. It's Sully and Poison Luck. Livid is far away from the diffuser, though, and with 26 seconds, it's going to be all but impossible to do so. There's a triple kill for Livid on the round, and Sully finally finds the last kill of the round. Is that 4?
It was.
Holy.
It was 4. And, wow, we end up at a 3-3 time. In the rounds that Western Colorado have won, they have won with a capital W. And to have it end up like this, I think is definitely a little disheartening, because you started out so strong and it felt like you had a lot of control in this map, but it's hard to account for Sully, who the Malusi roam has just been so deadly on these dorm site that there isn't drones to cover them. They weren't running any anti-roam operators like, the Nomad that is currently in play on the side of Poison. Yep. So there's really nothing much you can do but kind of blame yourself there.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, that's a lack of intel from the attackers. They weren't doing their due diligence dealing with the roamers, and Sully learned over the course of that half, round by round, that he could get away with more and more. That's where we saw him starting to come alive. I mean, he was literally just running back and forth between flanks, and even when he wasn't on a flank, everyone had to watch behind them manually. They didn't have, I don't think the drones even fully available for that, and they were scared. I mean, he's terrifying like that.
But, I mean, we're seeing 2 members on the side. We got Recycle first and Augie, which Augie, that Finka do be hitting hard. The lack of a Finka do be affecting Augie, which, I mean, if it is that big of a deal, run a fuse. Like, if it's that big of a deal, just run the fuse. I mean, he's got the LMG.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh no!
Having the speed is kind of sad.
Maybe.
Though.
Yeah.
The lack of heals, always sad.
We're gonna see actually another Boo and Sully 1v1. It was a C4 that was thrown by Boo that Sully was able to take down, and Sully is not gonna actually find the frag kill, as Boo is still just wanting to keep him off. The second frag goes wide as well. So now Boo still just has a little bit of control. If Poison's able to find something, oh, Boo is sent scurrying into Attic, and they're going to be able to survive just for now. Great play by Poison, actually, in breaking that window and actually allowing Sully to go forward. So Good plays by Concordia, but Boo able to survive, and that's going to mean that that's another deadly gun that you're going to have to watch out for as Sully takes another hit HP.
Boo barely roamed, just outside of objective, but still took 2 grenades, plenty of time and energy. And Concordia is starting to fall behind on some objective timers here. They still don't have attic open, and there's a player in it to contest as well. There he goes. Now actually walkable. But there's a kill for Boo. He's rotated all around, and he gets his kill in addition to all the roam time that he took away. And Cam Louis elsewhere taking out Sonar evens this up pretty well as time is still ticking down. A minute and a half isn't undoable, especially as Sully's starting to make some impact. He has made his way through attic, and he's going to be watching white, where we do see Recycle First is coming up.
And the cameras are all facing toward this white stairs. We're getting a strobe, essentially, on the side of Recycle First, but Claude's going to be able to rotate that, and that's going to allow that red ping and the Z pings to go out. But the extra player of Augie, Sly, and Sully having 3 members alive instead of 2 is going to allow you just... Essentially, you might be able to throw somebody in there when you've got a general idea of where they are, and try to get that plant down, possibly sacrifice somebody. If, worse comes to worse, then you do have that player advantage, as we're getting that around that 30-second margin in which Sly is going forward. Sully is going to get taken down, and it's just going to be Sly and Augie that are going to have to complete something that is going to be very hard to do considering the circumstances.
Recycle First is having a rough map, but Claude is just getting going after finding that kill. Sly is taking the plant, so Augie is going to be 1v1 here, finding the gun opportunity for himself. He's also not really been having a great map here, so the 2 of them are going to face off. Recycle First, though, needs to find the kill in order to get the... Sorry, we changed perspective. Augie here has to put the plant down. Time is not on his side. So Recycle First is the one that's going to get the best of them. That's a free kill once the timer hits 0.
Yeah, and that felt so winnable on the side of Concordia. But the fact that they felt so discombobulated, and Recycle First and Claude played that very well. Claude using the bed as just the geometry of the map to kind of outmaneuver Sully. Maestro's not a very fast operator, but if you use your brain, it doesn't even matter. As Western Colorado is going to be 1 round ahead, going to this basement side, we are going to see the smoke in play for the first time this map, which is so weird to say on round 8.
That is crazy. Yeah, we're just breezing through this one. I mean, with how close these teams are on every single round since those first 2 that really were swept for Western Colorado, but they're really heating it up here. The Mira is being brought once again downstairs, and we get to see that smoke that we've been thinking about.
How's the Mira going to be played? Is she going to be played as a view into blue? Is she played as a view into freezer, possibly looking from laundry? That's all up to Cam Louis, who the Mira is a very powerful operator. Excuse me. She's highly regarded as an operator that kind of changed Siege, because she's just super powerful. People speculate that Azami might kind of be what Mira did, in which her gadget is so unique and important that you can bring her and she still is able to provide something on most of these sites. We're going to see actually Recycle First trying to put those ADSs down, as nobody's actually hanging out in blue. It just kind of seems to be a general vibe area.
We vibing in blue.
Yeah, nobody's there.
Yeah, they've got the potential there if the pressure's coming out, but already they're not seeing any tells of a bunker push. The defenders are still kind of taking their time setting up as Concordia is scouting out the first floor. There's very little upstairs presence, so Poison Luck has already got all these nomads, air jabs placed, so they're going to be feeling a lot safer about opening up the hatches and starting a push down through pillar, which is going to be stymied, though, by some smokes.
Here we go. The Habana pellets are going through.
Oh, no.
3? Does 3 open it up?
Yeah,
no.
Missed a little bit.
So you're actually going to lose 1 pellet in the process. Actually, you're going to lose 3, actually, is Sully finding the first one. They're on 13 kills. Oh, my. So now you are going to be losing Livid. and the smoke canisters. We saw the smoke being played for the first time. Well, not for very long, about a minute 10 seconds total, as Augie's barely gonna un-ADS just as Recycle First seems to round the corner.
Ooh, Recycle First sitting right under an air jab. It is going to be plenty audible. And elsewhere, one is going off. I think Claude just finishing up, getting hit by one, and is going to be downed as well. No one's going to be in a position to res him. It's Cam, Louie, and Boog all the way downstairs. Boog has finished setting up that blue bunker hold, but there's not going to be more pressure from it. They're just going to make sure that they're safe, but not safe enough. And Cam Louie is left all alone. There's not much intel left either. They're all just having to spectate Cam Louie. Poison Luck finds it, and it's a flawless round for Concordia after losing their last round on attack.
Going from losing a 1v1 to a flawless round. And that is a big thing. 2 of the rounds here have been flawless rounds on the side of Concordia. And we're going to go back to basement. So, you're rubbing your hands together, laughing gleefully if you're a Concordia fan. But otherwise, Livid going down first once again. That we saw last map that they kind of seemed to be a very important player with the smoke. And yet they were the first to go down.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just can't avoid that. It's Siege. What are you going to do? Sometimes they find your head, even if you're trying to play pretty safe there. And I mean, yeah, what's a little gambling if you want to use those smokes early? Sometimes you got to crack a few eggs for the omelet or something. Maybe how many metaphors can I find for this one? Looks like pretty similar here. Nothing fundamentally changed with lineups at all. And the setup is also looking pretty similar from Western Colorado. They're just hoping that they can get some more mileage out of some of their utility dump, and hopefully they don't get taken advantage of things like that Maverick that actually naded out Boo right after he tried to make this the safest spot as possible.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Yeah, and I like that this map is closer. It is making for an exciting match than just the 6-1 that we saw earlier. It was over by this time in the last map. It's tackled for Claude, wanting to go for something a little sneaky.
Ooh.
No one is there. The Venus flytrap. He's not getting anything tonight.
Yep, nothing for the Ella. Concordia is not interested in going down to bunker. Maybe they see it as being a little too much of a gambit. It's hard to tell exactly what's going to happen. It usually comes down to 50-50 gunfights, so a little bit more understandable to be going through Big Tower first to start with. That's where they're deploying their whole team, so hopefully they don't get shut down for being all stacked up on each other. Those air jabs are going to be set up as well to make sure that they can open up the hatch just like last round.
Nobody's actually able to really contest Recycle First. That's wow, this late, and they're just kind of realizing that they need to take care of this Jaeger that's hanging out in Big Tower, as Sly is going to be the person who's going to be Spider-Manning this window, and Recycle First trying to eke their way around as they realize the explosives that have gone through, and possibly the Habana that is on this window. The window gonna be broken up, and this could go one or two ways, and we know one way it's going to happen. And Recycle First hitting the window frame and still able to survive at least it was both sides at that point that you're going to have something like that. As Recycle First getting flash banged galore. And there we go. It is eventually going to be Poison Luck. The flashbangs winning it on out of 5v4.
That's a shame. They should have been able to get that kill a little bit even earlier. Sly being left out to dry by Poison Luck, looking away right as the rotate went off. And it's taken almost 2 minutes to clear out Recycle First from the top of Big Tower. So that's going to be ticking down on the time for Concordia. They need to make their moves here. And they're finally getting everything set up so that they can actually start the utility dump. They see some heads, though, and they are up a man. So that's going to help them to actually get this going when the time comes.
Here we go. 45 seconds left. It's going to be Boo finding another one as we are at a 4v4 situation. Taking out Sully, too. That is the huge one, as Poison's going to find a second. And 30 seconds left to jump. And only now are you going to have Blue being reinforced. This last 10 seconds are going to be so chaotic. I can already imagine it. You're going to have Concordia go on forward. They just cannot run through. Sonar's going to have to prep a hole to throw a frag grenade as Claude is able to find Poison. The C4 goes out. It's taken out Sonar, and we're at a 2v2. Livid having the shotgun and smoke canisters as well could make a huge impact. Boo with the triple kill. Augie is going to peek. They're going to find Livid. They have to find Boo. Are they going to be able to do it? They're going to be able to do it!
Oh my god!
And somehow Concordia, from the clutches of almost an impossible round, win it. And round 9 is going to be able to go to them, and they even it on up. Actually, no, they are able to take the lead with that. Concordia, Augie.
That round is monumental. It did come down, just like you said, Light Rose, to a real cluster there in those dying moments of the round. Concordia playing against the time as they've been held back for so long by Recycle First up top and Big Tower. They just had to make so much happen so quickly, and Augie, a little slow to start up this map on the defense, is really showing us what they've got on the offense.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Now, are we starting to see kind of the grip that WCU had slowly unravel? It's 2 rounds in a row for Concordia. Granted, the last time Concordia won 2 times in a row immediately was countered by Western Colorado. So, you know, things aren't gone. We saw Livid not actually use those smoke canisters, which is something I think that is a little important to think about, because in those 10 seconds, if you can just throw a smoke canister somewhere, you almost guarantee the fact that they are not going to run through that, because, you know, it's going to reveal their position. They're going to take a lot of HP damage in the process. And Livid was just sitting with 3 in their pocket, and you saw WCU lose that. It's unfortunate the way it happened, but, you know, it does make for an exciting watch. I will 100% say that.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I think actually that round kind of came down out on the dying moments, at least. Boo and Livid being out of position, actually. Livid threw that smoke grenade while still plenty shootable, like almost in the middle of the rim, just off of the locker there. And Boo lying down, I think those were just being uncomfortable in the position, since it just came down to such a blitz of last 45 seconds of the round. So I think they're starting to get uncomfortable in the face of Concordia's attack.
Yeah, and I think part of that is that Augie, you know, was able to find that. Augie was at 0 kills before the round that Recycle First was actually able to clutch out. That was the round where both of them were able to get something, as Boo is going to spot out the Maverick and not actually going to do any damage. Sully going to take a lot in the process, but they're going to be able to beat out Claude. And Poison kind of has Boo trapped in the corner here. The C4 is going to go way wide. It's actually going to make a rotate, I believe, as Boo is a little definitely stuck here. Flashbang's going out. Frag Grenade's going out. And on the rotate, the bank shot, I think somebody call up the Dallas Mavericks there.
Ooh, okay, attackers pushing in. Here's going to be down to these last 3 defenders. Livid has already been droned out. He's in a rough position. He does see a drone right there, but the attackers are right behind it. Oh, he's going to run out with the shotgun, though. Swinging with the shotgun. He's going to get traded out immediately by Poison. Locked, though, but he has made his impact. Unfortunately, that's going to leave his teammates even further out to dry. Poison Luck pushing on in. Cam Louis is taking the opportunity to probably just move right on out and try for that post plant at this rate. Recycle First is stuck in the corner. He doesn't have an angle on anyone, but it's only a matter of time. He does find it here, taking out Sonar, while Cam Louis trying to find something going up the stairs. Actually, this could be actually very big if he remains undetected.
Yeah, Cam Louis just going to miss someone, but eventually they're able to find Poison. So now you're going to have that call out that somebody is behind. You've got Recycle First in dorms, Cam Louis in the hallway, 2v2, 15 seconds left. as Augie inside of games. We are going to have that diffuser go down. Is it going to stick, though? It's a very, very dangerous position as Cam Louie is hiding near Attic. And here we go. We are going to see it happen. Sly, Cam Louie taking damage as Sly is able to win it out in the process. It's Recycle first, who eventually finds the refrag. And once again, we're in a 1v1 versus Augie and Recycle first. The problem is, for Recycle first, is that diffuser is down, and they've only got a limited amount of time to really get some work done, and they don't have any information to work off of. So they're just essentially going to have to do it bare. They're going to have to try to win it out based on pure gunfight, and it's just not going to work. Augie having the precise information on when that diffuser is, hearing that counter diffuse, and just simply peeking and winning. 6-4, we are on map and match point. Treasure.
Augie in the clutches, making it happen every time here, clawing it back. Whenever we get down to the hairs, he is there for it. That was a perfect execution, knowing exactly what he's looking for when it comes to that fake plant. He gave it the perfect amount of time, heard it go off, wait a second, now, and done.
And match point. Rook is played. Yes, I love Rook. Is it going to be the P90 or the MP5 is the real question, as Claude is actually swapping off the mice.
SQ-CQB woke option.
I mean, I feel like that shotgun is almost never talked about because in a lot of people's minds, it is just the Mossberg, but French. And, you know, usually if you think of the French guns, it's kind of with like, yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it just has worse damage drop off.
Yeah.
It's just worse Mossberg on characters that actually
It does have a
good
vertical,
guns.
though. Does have a vertical grip, I think. So, I mean, if you want your one-shot shotgun to have less recoil,
yeah,
because the Mossberg was just so hard to wield. Yeah, it's not the best to run, which is why the MP5 is usually the better option. But I wonder if the Rook plates will actually have any impact, because now it's going to give these operators just a little bit more to work with, as Claude is going to use an impact to break the window, not even break it with their hands, and they've essentially wasted an impact. Which, I mean, to be fair, impacts usually are very hit or miss with their impacting around. I still just find it funny that they impacted a window to spawn peek, and which nobody really came into their field of view.
We're getting a moment of quiet here. Concordia all spawned in, getting their drones all the way through, getting as much ground covered as possible on the western side here. Sully pushing directly in. He's going to make some sound. They're opening up the barbed wire, but I don't think there's anyone actually to respond to it, because western is pretty spread out. They've got 3 players over there in kids' dormitories.
Yeah, and once again, we are here with Boo versus Maverick, and this time it's actually going to be Claude winning out on Sully. This is the alternate universe of the round that we were in.
It's just the Rook difference.
Literally, the Rook difference. And Sonar is playing this very dangerously, and the C4 is actually gonna break it open. It's gonna destroy all those barbed wire, but nobody was really there to, you know, Maverick goes straight through that, so it's not gonna be that big of a deal. But now you've given up Attic control, and Attic was a very, very powerful position. But with Boo and Claude still alive, this round could be a very different story, considering how tight last round was. That if you have 2 extra members later into this round, we could see some magic happen for WCU.
They do have the man count already. They've taken out Sully, who has been one of the big difference makers right next to Augie once we've gone on attack. The defenders are waiting out that hard breach on Games Room, both a player outside that could put a damper in their plans. Everything's been set up by Habana. They're at least getting some open, no matter what. They're getting that hole, and that's a start. They don't get a walking hole, but they're going to cut off the rotate through Attic either way. It's a little bit slow going, though. We said it was a little quiet to start up, and there's already 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Recycle first is still downstairs. He's got an opportunity, but he's going to lose 2 of his teammates to Sonar and Sly. It's 3v3 now.
And you've got Recycle First, who's actually on that first floor, still having to come up. Cam Louis going to reveal their position, and Recycle First going to be air jabbed. So now they know that somebody is trying to walk up those stairs. There's 14 seconds left. They're going to have to enter into the site, try to get that plant down. But there's so many bullets going forward. Claude finds one onto Sly. There's going to be a 2v2 going out. They have to get the diffuser down, but is it going to happen? Sonar in the corner. And now as we hit triple zeros, Cam Louis goes down. It's just up to Claude, who's going to go through the rotate. Do they know that somebody is there? Augie going to be able to get out, and it's so close, and it is going to be Concordia. Once again in the last 10 seconds, getting the diffuser down and winning out the round and the map and the match 2-0. A very close Oregon.
That is almost the definition. Well, I mean, Clubhouse, an insane map for Concordia University, Wisconsin. But the second map on Oregon makes it a shame to say that this was a 2-0. But Concordia definitely earning that out as soon as they could get all their players back warm again, which somehow, I don't know, that small break must have really gotten them off kilter. Too much Clash Royale, I guess. But absolutely barnstorming through a map and really showing up in the moments that mattered to just inch ahead of Western Colorado University and make this one their own.
Yeah, absolutely. It took a little bit of time to get rolling, but once they did, they just stopped. On their attacking side, they seem to have a much more comfortable grip on the map, on each singular site, and man, clutches. clutches kinda,
galore.
there were so many. I think you had 3 times on that actually 4 rounds, 4 or 5 rounds on that second half were clutches on both sides. And I think that simply shows that it was very close. And a lot of it came down to individual performances.
And even weird in that, there's a flawless there interspersed
Yeah.
in the last 4. Like, so back and forth throughout this. I mean, both teams got a flawless round, and we had back-to-backs, and really nothing more than 2 in a row until Concordia really flew away with those 4 in a row. But it is late, and we have come to the conclusion for this Wednesday's NECC matches. We'll be back, of course, next Wednesday, so you get to see some more of both Light Rose and I and the rest of our Siege casters. And until then, there's going to be plenty of NECC action here and on the mainstream NECC_esports. So we've got plenty coming, and always something to watch here. I think that's just about all we got, though, right?
Yeah, so we can say goodnight to all of you. It is definitely late if you are on that Eastern Coast. So, get in bed, get all cozy, have a nice night, and we will see you next week.
Good night, everybody.